For this voiceover PowerPoint, I have posted the article, Meaning Making and Psychological Adjustment to Cancer in Canvas for you, and the voiceover will concern itself with an example of a paired t-test. The purpose of this study was to develop and explore the psychological effects of an intervention that focused on meaning-making coping strategies for individuals with one of two types of cancer, either breast or colorectal. One of the specific questions was concerned with which outcomes are most sensitive to change from the meaning-making intervention. Patients were included in the study who were within 3 months of a new diagnosis, 1 month of completed treatment, or 1 month of a recurrence of cancer and receiving either curative or palliative treatment. The intervention was an 8-week session on meaning making. Pre-test questionnaires were given to the participants before the intervention, and the same post-test questionnaire was given after the meaning-making activities. For the purposes of this example of t-test, I will mention only 2 of the 10 questionnaires. The Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale is used to measure self-esteem, or the degree of self-worth. There are 10 items scored on a 4-point scale, 1 to 4, with higher scores indicating lower self-esteem. And the Life Orientation Test Revised, which is used to measure optimism, or a person's habitual style of anticipating favorable outcomes. There are 12 items, each scored on a 5-point 0 to 4 scale. Higher scores indicate greater optimism. Now, what I want you to keep in mind is that absolutely no level of significance was set by the researchers before data analysis was done. And this has caused some confusion in reading these results. Please look across the first line of the table next to the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale. You can see that the mean score pretest was 16.83 with a standard deviation of 3.11, and the mean post-test score was 14.50 with a standard deviation of 3.57. The paired t-test statistic was 3.53, and the p-value was 0.003. Since the higher scores are equated with lower self-esteem, and there is a decrease in the scores from pre-test to post-test, you can say that the participants' self-esteem increased, and it was probably not due to chance, since the p-value is 0.003, and the researchers actually stated that this finding was significant. Now look across the line to the Life Orientation Test Revised. The mean pretest is 25.28 with a standard deviation of 3.74 and a mean post-test of 25.93 with a standard deviation of 3.54. The paired t-test statistic is a negative 2.30 with a p-value of 0.03. The researchers did not even mention this in the text. Now, if the researchers set the level of significance to be a p-value of 0.01, then the increase of 25.28 pre to 25.93 post would indeed not be significant, since the calculated p-value of 0.03 would be higher than 0.01, and therefore we reject the idea that the intervention caused a change. Maybe this is why the researchers did not report the finding that looked significant. However, since the researchers did not state what the level of significance was, we could assume that it was the standard of p 0.05, and that would mean that the increase in the mean would actually be significant, since the calculated p-value was p.0 0.03, which is lower than p.05. So the participants actually would have had an increase in optimism after the intervention. What I want you to remember, it is critical to tell a reader of your research study exactly what level of significance is set so that erroneous conclusions are not made. And so I hope this little table provides an example of the paired t-test and what not to do in a research article.